and welcome to Gamesmaster. I've had a Christmas card here from a Mr. Charlie Young, and it says, Dear Dominic, what I want to know is, you know your co-commentators, do they really know about video games? Please could you conjure up some Christmas video games quiz to test the lead in their gaming knowledge pencils? Well, Charlie, seeing as you've phrased it in such an eloquent and heartfelt fashion, we feel honour bound to comply with your request with the Gamesmaster Christmas Quiz. Okay, like I said, it is the Gamesmaster Christmas Quiz. We're going to have 4 rounds to test our co-commentators' gaming knowledge metal. At the end of those 4 rounds, the 2 co-commentators who have amassed the highest score will go on to a playoff. I suppose I should quite literally introduce our contestants. All of them firm favourites for you back at home. We start with Mr. Kirk Ewing, a former lingerie model for Miss Selfridge. Kirk names his interests as taunting people shorter than himself and leech breeding. Welcome to the show, Kirk.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck in the show.
So do you.
We now move on to Mr. Derek Lynch. And I didn't know this before the show started. Derek Lynch used to be a robotic dancer. Why did you stop, Derek?
Went out of fashion.
Right. Was it ever in fashion? Was it not a lot? Was it not a kind of like?
Hey, the days of body popping. Oh, great days.
Okay, Rick Henderson. Rick, tell us about your mascot there.
No.
No? I'd
rather just leave it as said.
Keep that as a secret for this early evening time slot. And finally, we have Dave Perry now. What is there to say about Dave that he hasn't told us himself many times? He is the self-proclaimed games animal. His ambition is to front the television show about video games that totally destroys Gamesmaster. I wouldn't have thought that would be too difficult, Dave.
No, I don't think it will be either. It's only a matter of time.
Who would present that show, Dave?
Oh, well, I think that would probably be me.
Well, I'm sure that comes as a surprise to all of us. Okay, then, we've introduced our 4 contestants. The questions have been kept under strictest security. The girls have been quite literally sitting on them all day. Could I have them now, please? Thank you very much, girls. It's quite literally scalding warm, this. Okay, I have the questions, and in a radical break with tradition, we are going to begin with round 1. Hey, it's the picture board. We start with Mr. Dave Perry. Dave, pick a number between 1 and 4, please.
1.
Okay, who is this wee fella?
Mario.
Indeed, it is. That is absolutely correct. Is Mario sporting his invincibility suit in the new Mario 64 game? For a bonus question, Dave, what colour are Mario's overalls normally?
Blue.
They are blue, exactly, as a red vest. Is that 2 colours you would wear together? Blue and... Well, sorry, Dave. Does that work as a colour mix, Dave?
It's very in. Okay. Very in at the moment.
That's good. We'll take Dave's word for that. That's 2 sets of 2 points to Dave Perry. 4 points, then. Rick Henderson. Pick a number between 1 and 4.
3.
Who is this buxom wench?
Jade.
No. Her name is actually Orchid, from a very small, unknown game called Killer Instinct that was last year's Christmas #1.
I never heard of it.
Mr. Derek Lynch. Right, Derek, pick a number between 1 and 4, as long as it's 2 or 4.
4.
Thank you, Derek. Okay, who is this little urchin?
Pass.
Pass. It was actually Andy from Heart of Darkness, Derek. Right,
2.
Finally.
2.
Who is that man? Bit of a retro one here, Kirk.
That looks a lot like your dad.
If only I knew who he was.
I don't know. His head's down the toilet. How am I meant to know?
You're going to kick yourself. Yeah. A very famous game cassette cover from yesteryear, Jet Set Willy.
Oh, I would have known if he'd had his head out.
It was back in the days of the Z-Expert. And the Z-Expert and also Commodore 64, if I remember correctly. So, Kirk, you end with 0 points at all.
I knew all the others.
So then, we've got a bit of a clear division, I think, in the first round. But let's have the scores confirmed from Gamesmaster.
Hello and Merry Christmas. I hate to ruin the festive spirit, but I do get to say that at the end of round 1, Rick Henderson, Derek Lynch and Kirk Ewing all had 0, with the sole point scorer being Dave Perry with 4. Pitiful.
We move on to round 2, a succinctly named round, which is called Tell Us Quite Literally What Happens After the Wee Bit of Clip You Have Seen. We're going to begin with Rick. This time, Rick, take a look at this clip. Okay, Rick, Earthworm Jim there, what happens next?
He shoots a cow into the air.
How does the cow end up in the air?
He basically drops the fridge onto a springboard system.
That's fine. Yeah, that's more than enough, Rick. Thank you very much. Yes, let's have a look and see if you're correct. Yes, there we have it. There goes the cow. It's officially launched. That's 2 points to Mr. Rick Henderson there. We move on to Derek Lynch. Derek, take a look at this clip. Okay, Derek. I thought we gave quite a lot away in that one. Someone opens the door, runs down a corridor. Derek, what happens next?
I guess he continues running, and some kind of beast comes out and grabs her, attacks her.
I'm going to give you 1 point for that. I will throw open, and I already missed the Kirk Ewing. Very, very quick on your finger there. I'm going to give Derek 1 point. Kirk, you can get the total 2 if you tell me exactly what happens.
Mutant zombie comes out with a shotgun, and the guy blasts his brains out over the floor, causing a very nice wiry pattern on the walls.
Very, very good. Absolutely wrong. Let's roll a clip and find out exactly what happened. See, it's a dog.
It's a dog. It's the dog.
Not a zombie. 2 dogs. Kirk, take a look at this clip.
Okay.
Okay, a little bit of fighting there from Primal Rage. What happened next?
Well, great, isn't it? Just great, because I don't know the answer. I mean, obviously it's going to be some fantastic death move in the rhino, but I'd like to say the monkey...
That's not bad. I'm going to give you 1 for that, actually.
Yeah.
But who's flashing there? Rick, yes, Rick, what happened next?
The monkey turns round and emits a huge gaseous vapor, I think is the right word.
Dave's shaking his head there. Let's roll a clip and find out what happened. Okay, so the dinosaur's about to kind of fall over there. The monkey decides, I am going to quite literally do a toilet function upon my fallen victim. Okay, the final clip in What Happened Next goes to you, Dave. Take a look. Tell us what happened. Okay, the very, very familiar, very, very famous Sonic the Hedgehog there running to the edge of the screen, standing under a tree. What happens next, Dave?
Dr. Robotnik comes in and Sonic has to destroy him.
No. I'm going to throw that open, actually. Yes, Derek.
I guess he's going to jump up and hit the coconuts, and the coconuts fall down.
Incorrect as well, actually. No, not even close. Roll a clip and see what happens. Okay, so Sonic gets to the end of the level, pauses by the tree, a Japanese guy in a black and white wig jumps out of the crate, and someone shoots someone with their eyes, and it all explodes. It was... Okay, at the end of round 2, then let's go to Gamesmaster for the scores.
Dave is still in the lead with 4 points, but mercifully, the others are pulling themselves together. Rick has staggered to an underwhelming 2 points, while Derek and Kirk have 1 apiece.
So, with the scores rocketing through the roof here, we're going to take a short break for some fantastic commercials there. During the break, just think about this for a little bit. Why has Derek Lynch got a rabbit for his mascot? We'll be back in a minute. It's Christmas time. There's no need to be afraid. It's Christmas time where we let in light and we banish shade. That was Live Aid. This is Gamesmaster, the Christmas quiz. We have our 4 co-commentators taking part in top quiz-related action as we go into round 3. Oh, I feel like Magnus Magnusson. Yes, just like the quiz show popularised by the old Icelandic cheeky monkey, we've asked each of our contestants to nominate a specialist subject. They will get 45 seconds on that subject. Let's have the first contestant. Your name is Derek Lynch. You were born in Harlesden, and your specialist subject is Namco Arcade Beat-em-Ups 1990 to 1996. You have 45 seconds, Mr. Lynch, and your time begins now. Tekken 2. Which character is reportedly based on the Japanese martial arts star Jackie Chan?
Lei Wulong.
Correct. What form of martial arts is practiced by Bayek?
Taekwondo.
Correct. Again, Tekken 2. At the end of a one-player game, who's the final opponent a player faces?
Kazuma.
The Devil. Tekken 2
Kazuya.
includes... Okay, I'll accept that. Tekken 2 includes animal as well as human fighters. What is the name of the kangaroo?
Roger.
Correct. Whose home stage is a church?
King.
Correct. Which character sports a series of tattoos?
Paul.
No, Bruce Irvin. In arcade mode, there's a hidden option which allows the player to fight... I'll start this off, finish. In a first-person view. The player's selected character appearing as a wireframe. True or false?
True.
Correct. At the end of that round, Mr. Lynch, you have scored 6 points and you have passed on none. Thank you. Let's have the next contestant, please. Mr. Kirk Ewing, you were born in Drumnadrochit, and your specialist subject is video game subjects related to the letter P. You have 45 seconds on your specialist subject, and your time begins now. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peckers. Why?
Because he's a
Correct. What flightless black and white Arctic fowl, which gives its name to a famous chocolate bar, an enemy of Batman, and a brand of paperbacks, does Mario have to return to his parents on the snow level of Mario 64? And here's a clue. It looks like this.
Puffin.
Correct. The rudimentary tennis game is considered by many to be the first true video game. What is it?
Pong.
Correct. What game featured the character Peter Perfect?
Pap.
Super Knockout. What does the B button do? I've started, so I'll finish. What does the B button do on FIFA Soccer on the Mega Drive?
Pass.
Correct. At the end of that round, Mr. Ewing, you scored 4 points. You said some rude words, but you passed on none. Let's have the next contestant, please. Mr. David Perry, you were born in Torquay, and your specialist subject is the life and times of the Street Fighter arcade game. You have 45 seconds on your specialist subject, and that time begins now. When you finish Street Fighter 2 with Ken, what happens to Ken?
He gets the girl and goes off into the sunset.
Correct. When you beat an opponent without taking a hit, what congratulatory message appears on the screen?
Perfect.
Correct. The bonus stage on Street Fighter 2 involves players destroying a car. Which two characters can destroy it the fastest?
Eddie Honda.
Yes.
And Ken if you use a Dragon Punch. Or Chun-Li with the 100 kick.
Yes, correct. Point for that. Which character practices the art of yoga?
Yoga is Delsim.
Correct. So, at the end of that round, Mr. Dave Perry, you have 4 points and you passed on none. Let's have our final contestant, please. Mr. Rick Henderson, you were born in London's glitzy West End, and your specialist subject is football management simulations in 1986 to 1996. Your 45 seconds begins now. Who wrote the classic ZX Spectrum game Football Manager?
Kevin Toms.
Correct. Kevin Toms had a beard. True or false?
True, and a very nice
Correct.
tight perm.
This beard was cack. True or false?
It was a dreadful beard.
Correct. Which company released the game Player Manager 2?
Anko.
Correct. In which football game is Clive Tilsley the in-game commentator?
Championship Manager 2.
Correct. Sensible world of soccer. To the nearest 5,000, how many club players are there?
Over 100,000, probably,
No,
I should imagine.
25,000. At the end of that round, Mr. Henderson, you've scored 5 points, passed on none, and have a fine beard. Let's go up to Gamesmaster and find out what the scores are now.
Dave holds the lead with 8 points, but Rick and Derek now have 7 points each, while Kirk continued to languish in the rear with a miserable 5.
Right, we're now going into our penultimate round. 4 viewers in Drumnadrochit. That means there's 2 left. We are calling this penultimate round Don't Shoot Too Soon. Before we go into it, though, let's prepare ourselves for a festive feature type situation. Japan and Britain, 2 separate cultures, half a world apart, linked by one thing: anoraks. Here in Japan, they call them otaku. The word refers to any hobby that borders on the obsessive, but this is Gamesmaster after all, so there was one group of otaku I was contractually obliged to meet. Unfortunately, this meant getting up eye-baggingly early on a Sunday morning. It's midday on a Sunday in downtown Tokyo. Most of us would be asleep, but the video game otaku have assembled for a costume party where they dress up as their favourite video games characters. I've decided to get into the spirit, and I've come as everyone's favourite from Street Fighter 2, Fat Sumo Bloke, Eddie Honda. These costume parties are a tragically regular occurrence in Tokyo. Hundreds of teenage punters shun the daylight and huddle inside clubs to get down with like-minded weirdos. Some people actually buy their costumes, with prices ranging from 400 to 600 quid. The idea being to garner as much attention as possible, with cash prizes going to the grooviest threads. Well, obviously in Japan I am an enormous celebrity as well, and because of this they've actually asked me to be a judge on the competition to see who's got the best costume. So I've got to look for a costume that's very big, very extravagant, someone who's put a lot of time and effort into it. So I'm going to have a little wee wander now. Have a look. I don't know if you can tell, but this guy's wearing a pair of pants on his head. It's a pair of pants. Excellent. Top work there. Nice one, mate. Sorted. I'm going to go and make sure that she can get in and out of her costume, okay? Okay, this is my runner-up for the best costume. It's a lovely costume, but I used to have a carpet in this material when I was younger, and I'd find it a bit unsettling, I'm afraid, but very good. Very good. Yes, after hours of grueling analysis and some costumes that were obviously from bizarre Japanese games I'd never heard of, I came to my decision and wrapped my rapidly eroding credibility around me like a shield and took to the stage. Predictably, my newfound Japanese buddies didn't miss the opportunity to take the mick out of my strange foreign ways. Okay. I speak no Japanese. Other prizes were handed out to people who took the whole thing a bit too seriously, but in the end I went for the simpler, more minimalist approach. The otaku partied long into the afternoon, but I, having met the girl of my dreams, did what any normal man would do. I gave her my holiday washing to clean. Our final round works thus: 90 seconds of general video games questions. At the end of this round, we will lose the two co-commentators with the two lowest scores at the moment. These scores are so close, anybody could still get through, even Kirk. So best of luck, everyone. Your 90 seconds begins now. What was the catchphrase of the game character Earthworm Jim? Ewing drum the rocket.
Groovy.
Correct. How did Jim come to have such superpowers? Ewing drum the rocket.
A suit fell on him from outer space.
Correct. Listen to this soundtrack. What game does it come from? Perry Toki.
Donkey Kong Country.
Correct. What am I? I'm a green friendly dinosaur. I have a long tongue which I can use to suck eggs in. Ewing, drum the rocket.
Yoshi.
Correct, Mario's friend. The sequel to the best-selling PC game Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix is called what? Ewing, drum the rocket.
Grand Prix 2.
Correct. What is the Mega Drive called in America? Perry, Torquay.
Genesis.
Correct. What is the Super Nintendo known as in Japan? Henderson. From West End?
The Super Famicom.
Correct. And that is our last question. So let's go for the Gamesmaster to find out the scores.
There are winners and there are losers. And at the end of that round, I'm afraid Rick and Eric fall into that latter category with 7 and 8 points respectively. Dave continued to hold the lead with 10 points. But miraculously, Kirk has managed to earn himself a place in the final with 9 points in total.
Okay, so while we say a fond farewell to Derek and Rick, let's find out the next round that Kirk and Dave are going to be playing. It's the grand final. Let's peer inside Gamesmaster's Yuletide log.
It is Christmas, and what better way to finish than having a final playoff between the two leaders on the first snow level of Mario 64. The two co-commentators must race to the bottom of the perilous ice slide in the fastest time possible, while trying desperately not to skid off to oblivion. Good luck.
And so it all bows down to this final dramatic confrontation. With me in the commentary box for this Christmas special is Gamesmaster presenter Mr. Dominic Diamond. Welcome, Dominic. Thank you very much, Dominic. Now, Dominic, at this point you usually ask the co-commentator an amusing question to start off. Well, I don't think there's any need for that tonight, is there? No, you are quite correct, Dominic. Let's move on to the game. What tips have you got? Well, remember, it's a very tricky track here, Dominic. What I would do, I'd make sure you finish it because some of these turns are very tight indeed. OK, thank you very much, Dominic. The challenge, then, is whoever can get to the bottom of the Cool Mountain course in the quickest time will walk away with our special Christmas quiz joystick. If both competitors fall off, then whoever has managed to stay the longest on the course will win. Best of luck, guys. Off you go, Kirk. OK, and off he goes then. We're at the start of the slope here. This first turn is not terribly difficult there. Remember, you can see things like the number of coins and all that on the screen. That's not important. All that matters is the time, and if he can get to the bottom. He has been going just now for 13, 14, 15 seconds now. It's a very good start, Dominic. Wouldn't you agree? Oh, yes, I definitely agree, Dominic. He's taking a nice easy, but he's off there. He has lasted for 20 seconds. 20.65 to be precise. Kirk, please make way for Dave. Best of luck then, Dave. 20.65 seconds is the time to remain on the course. Your time begins now. And off Dave goes. OK, he's down the slippery slope there. We're just coming up to the first turn here. Again, now it is a tactic there, Dave. Some might say cowardly, some might say clever. He is literally staying on his bottom and trying to last as long as he can. But I don't think it's one. He tries to play conservative. A good tactic, but he lasts for 13.35 seconds. That means Kirk Ewing is the winner. OK, guys, let's start with you, Kirk. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Interesting way you handled this quiz. Kirk, abysmal at the start, from 0 to hero at the end. I didn't even think that time was a very good time.
No, it was a rotten time, let's be honest.
Now, on to you, Dave. Now, you have, as you said on the show, you are the greatest games player in Britain. What happened? What went wrong?
Well, I think I've been set up fairly badly here today.
Right. And in particular, what reason?
I think having a final game where one player owns the game in the machine and one player isn't in the interests of fair play.
OK, then, so what you're saying, Dave, is the biggest game of this year. You haven't played much.
It's not released till next year. I'll play it next year when it's released in this country.
OK, you are a journalist. We can get it on import.
Not a journalist, I'm a marketing manager.
Right, OK, then. And you don't have a book coming out about, you know, games or anything like that, no?
About beat-em-ups.
About beat-em-up games. So we're not seeing sour grapes at all here, Dave, is what you're trying to say.
No, we're not. We're seeing somebody just saying he's been set up.
OK, then. And on that bombshell, let's award the Go to Gamesmaster joystick to the new Games Animal, Mr. Kirk Ewing. OK, so from me and the Mermaids and Rick and Derek and what's your name again? Kirk and even Dave. I would like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. And I'd like to leave you with this question. Why do we only get one Christmas but 5 Nolan sisters? Merry Christmas! Did you know that before making her speech at Christmas, the Queen checks out the Gamesmaster webpage? Now you do.